Amplified.
Hello, everybody. It is I.
The stupid bitch. Stupid bitch is back and now on video.
Yeah. Why are we doing this? I don't know, but we're doing it. But we're really excited because there's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. Amplified DSM website, local Des Moines podcaster platform is live. 9 podcasters there. We have our next guest. Well, we're starting the YouTube option, I guess. I don't know if we want to call it a YouTube channel, just a YouTube option for you to look at a YouTube option for you to have an option to look at what we do visually and not just audio. And our next guest is perfect because he's like an electrifying modern day gladiator. Literally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except you use electrifying a lot.
When?
I don't know. I feel like
this is the first time I use it.
I just went to the bathroom. It was
That's not true. But so this is a perfect guest to have this new video version that we're doing. So his name is Jeremy Stevens. He's a UFC fighter. He's been in the UFC for 14 years, and he was kind enough to make time for us, which is weird because people keep telling us yes to have and sit on with us. Is that?
I don't know why.
I mean, something's cool happening. I don't know. I mean, our last guest was, a great guest, and people loved it. So Jeremy's by far the most famous person we've had ever. That's cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
I was a little nervous, to be honest. I get nervous.
You always get nervous.
Yeah, but that's good though. I mean, I like the nerves, some of the nerves, I guess, but Jeremy was super. We were supposed to do this like a year and a half ago before COVID, but something happened. So he's always been down to like wanting to, do this with us. So we spoke about his career, where he started, where he's at now, his evolution. I mean, we've known him. You know him a little bit more than I do. You played at his wedding.
Yeah, full disclosure, I played at his wedding.
Yeah, so, and he's just a down-to-earth guy, so it's a great time for us to transition into this video stuff. But we're still gonna do the podcast audio, so this will be on audio. But if you want to check it out on video, it'll be on YouTube. What are we gonna call it?
I don't know. Just we're gonna call it. Check this out. It's gonna be called the Amner Martinez podcast.
Oh wow, that's very
now available on YouTube.
So, but yeah, let's not talk anymore. But yeah, before we leave though, we put some work behind this. There's a lot of podcasters that are doing, taking their time and putting themselves out there. So. Share if you like what we do. Share it. Tell people. There's a newsletter coming up. Sign up for it. Go to the website amplifiedsm.com. We're gonna be doing a monthly newsletter with what's happening in the community and just kind of keeping everybody in the loop. Not only what's happening with us, but what's happening like with people doing things, cool things, fun things, artistic, and all that. So, what else? Should we just get into it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go, guys. Thank you, Jeremy, for doing this. This is a UFC Des Moines. This is Des Moines' own Jeremy Stevens on the Amner Martinez podcast. Raj, how are you?
Good, man. Fantastic.
Thank you for making time for us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember DJ Zen, Kenji, and we started a little podcast a while back.
Yeah, how could I forget it? He was at my wedding.
Oh, that's right.
I tried to pay him to go extra hours, but the lady was shutting us down. Ask him if he remembers that.
Do you remember that? Yeah. Well, thanks,
Yeah.
man. I appreciate you making time. We're local podcasts and we're just trying to do our thing. And I know we tried to do this like a year ago before COVID, and we couldn't make it happen. So I'm glad that we're finally able to do it. So thank you.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you guys.
Look at where you are, by the way, like sunny, beautiful, no clouds.
Yeah, I was thinking of you guys when I was gonna do it. I was like, man, I'm gonna give these guys a little bit of sunlight, dude.
Yes, literally, man. We're freezing our balls off over here.
Yeah, hey, I know you guys are really great friends with my wife too. So if you guys ever in San Diego, you guys got to stop by here. More than welcome.
We're gonna have to make a trip, man. It's too cold.
Yeah, they're Allegiant's doing flights, I think like June or July, direct flights to San Diego.
All right, we're gonna have to go, man.
We're there.
Hey, so we've been following you for years. But I was just kind of doing some more homework and just watching your knockouts and the way you fight and just watching those videos on YouTube, it's literally electrifying. So my first question to you was, just kind of walk us through that feeling or the emotions that goes through a fighter when they're walking down, from their locker room to the octagon. Like, walk us through that. What are your emotions?
Yeah, scary.
Okay.
You're in the back, you're thinking that's like I'd say probably like the hardest part's like waking up that day, you're not going to fight till say I'm fighting main event, you're not fighting till like 10 o'clock. Just like waiting around, nerves, thoughts kind of going through your mind. A lot of things you got to just kind of take control of, mentally. It's just a mental game at that point. The waiting around, like blowing out the lungs, and then like right when you wake up, get a good breakfast, lay back down, and then like once you kind of get up, start moving around just to blow out the lungs, go just 10, 15, 20 minutes, just pow, 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 just start ripping, get those like nerves going out, then goes to backstage, you're just being nervous, like fuck man, like this is crazy, I got to go out and perform in front of fucking all these people, there's a camera in my face, I don't really like opening up to people and having like a camera in my face or wanting to shadow box in between, and I'm just like fuck, I'm just worried about this guy who's just trying to fucking kill me in the other room, like we're gonna get into a fist fight and you want me to shadow box in this. So a lot of things, you have to kind of again take control mentally, expecting things, prepare yourself, and just a lot runs through your mind, and it's like the ultimate rush, compared to maybe just military who are really risking their lives when bullets are starting to fly. You really get to see me as a fighter, like who I really am. All my details, my vulnerability is just out there. You can tell a lot about a man when he gets hit or if he gets kicked. Is he going to keep going? Can he, or does he fold? Does he keep fighting back and make something happen? So it's a lot. I don't even really know where to begin, but it's an experience to conquer and overcome and kind of have those experiences in life. The more that you get, the more comfortable that you get kind of being uncomfortable. It's like cold fucking water. I can jump in, you can ask me a million questions while you're out there, but you just have to jump in and just feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then take yourself through it.
Does it get easier each fight, or is it the same adrenaline rush every single time?
I don't know, man. I'd say probably gets a little bit harder, okay. Especially like, I find it kind of be like, yeah, it's a little bit harder, going out there, being so kind of comfortable, being uncomfortable. I kind of like a little bit of a challenge, something that's going to motivate me, something that's going to kind of scare the fuck out of me to get motivated, to go in there. Almost if you're too comfortable, that could be kind of scary. You kind of want something that's going to challenge you. That's something that you're going to wake up every day and start busting your ass because that the challenge in front of you is going to require a lot. It's all in you. You know, there is no opponent. It's all upon you are the opponent, you know, going in there and fighting. I'd say it gets harder, but again, it's just something that you have to experience and start to overcome mentally.
You're comfortable in that world, by the way. Like that's where you perform. That's your comfort zone in a way, right? Like the adrenaline, the pressure, the fear,
it's what switches me over into another realm that's just kind of unexplainable. And then in a sense is like, you look at a fighter like me, you're like, fuck, you think he likes being in the firefight like that, you know, when it's really, I'm just fucking, it's my fears that I woke up with every day. But knowing that, like, I took action, immediate action. Like, you know, my fears caused me to wake up and fucking run miles even before practice, wake up a little bit earlier before my kids even get up. Yeah. You know, it's some things that I guess I use mentally to kind of push me forward to my reasons why, you know, and keeps my motivation.
Do you remember your first fight? Do you remember your first walk out in your first fight? How you felt?
UFC?
Yes.
I'll tell you a funny one. I'll tell you a better one. You remember Rafael Dos Anjos? I fought him in 2007.
Okay.
Or eight, babe. 2000. Let's just say 2008. You know, and I was like, I'm gonna have a kid on the way. Mm-hmm. You know, I can only imagine the pressure of just like, man, you're gonna have a kid. It's my first kid.
Yeah.
You know, the pressure, and then like, hey, I got to go in there and perform. So I'm in the back, take you in the back locker room, and I'm kind of just sitting there. I'm warming up, and I see these guys in my locker room. They go out there, and then they just get fucking beat up, you know. And they're coming back, lumped up, legs are beat up, and they're just kind of like down, have this attitude that's just kind of negative. And I was just like, don't let it affect you. I would just close my eyes and be like, dude, you ain't the one, dude. You're destined for great things. Mm-hmm. You've been here before. You know exactly what to do. This isn't you, dude. You're a fucking winner. You got to go out there and do you. Fuck all these people that are here. Like, you know what to do. And you know, all these guys lost, you know, so I just kept telling myself I had to kind of like take myself away from this, like this place that I'm at, go somewhere mentally and remember what I fucking came here to do, you know, because these guys' energies, you know, they're coming back, they're lost, they're slumped up. Yeah. You know, I can't be allowing these thoughts, you know. I'm like, I had to kind of go to that place, and I go out there and, you know, I think it was pretty close, but I think he was up on the scorecard for sure. And I come back and make a huge knockout, you know, and I had to make that happen. It had to be in that third round. It was like a do or die situation. So it was cool to kind of challenge myself there and know that I can do it, know that I can come back, that just don't ever give up, keep up the fight, you know, a lot of learning in an experience like that. But it was kind of funny. That's like backstage, you know, everybody's just fucking losing, lumped up, and just like, fuck.
I saw one of your interviews that you said that the difference between, you know, pre-COVID and now COVID, that the process is different. You don't have to wait that long, where before you had to wait 3-4 hours before your fight. So that's a good segue, I guess. Tell us about the difference between pre-COVID and now the process of getting into a fight at UFC.
Man, you know, having it pretty good. You know, I was fighting some main events there a while back, and I could kind of go with my people in UFC and have like that trust, like, hey, you know, that's like a little early. Let's, you know, I'll make it there 90 minutes. I'll come there. I'll pee right away. And they would have that trust in me, you know, and make sure that I got there and get in the backstage and do everything in on time. You know, once kind of like things kind of gone corporate in UFC, you know, it's kind of like, it's like a process. And now I feel like right before COVID, you were there like hell hours early before, like 3-4 hours. So you're seeing like all this like fucking bullshit go on, you know, instead of just kind of being at home, chilling, kind of showing up and then be ready to go. You're kind of having to put yourself there and deal with a lot of things going on, you know, things that you can't really control. With COVID, you know, they're like, hey, we were just chilling at the house, ripping pads, showed up. Then they took us from the hotel directly there, pee, and get right to the fight.
So you like it better.
It makes it easier, man. Yeah, because like sitting around waiting, dude, like waiting all day or knowing, it's like, if I tell you right now, I'm like, hey, you got sprints. You know, you can do them now or wait till later. If you wait till later, you're going to be thinking about them for like 5 hours hard. Yeah. Just be like, dude, I'd rather just pay now instead of pay later.
Yeah. So you've been in the UFC for 15 years. Is that how long you've been active?
I'll be I think 14 years, May 26th. That's my birthday.
Okay.
So that'll be 14 years total with them.
You're a legit expert in. I was telling Kenji, I was like, Jeremy's ranked number 8. You're ranked number 8 in the UFC in your division. You're on the doorstep. You're in the house, like as in the major leagues of your sport. And I don't know if not that it hit me, but I'm like, holy shit, like this guy's in the major leagues of his sport, like
Thank you.
anyone else. So you've seen the evolution of the UFC, like, you've grown up in the UFC. What has changed about you since you did your debut?
Shit, a lot, bro. I grew up inside the UFC as a young, dumb kid. I looking back and probably could have just give that kid advice, but I don't know if I would have listened, compared to what I know now. And patience is learned, execution is earned. And I learned a lot, even to this day. It's a great experience, but I've traveled into a great journey. As of right now, I'm 105 days sober. I committed to 6 months, no drinking. And honestly, I've kind of gone to, like, so far, it's like, why even would I go? Ask myself, why even go back? It's just, this
Right.
doesn't suit where I'm going, and to connecting with my kids, my relationships, right here at home, to being able to put my life out there, being famous, to small town kid, to growing up with a drug addict mom and a broken home, to a lot of schools, to just a lot of shit, to really figuring out the positive in life, take it as a learning lesson and direct my focus in a martial arts, sort of way, take that energy into something really good. And to where I'm at now, it's a blessing, dude. I'm honestly just grateful for the fans, people who've always just showed love. I have a lot of love in my hometown, and I'm blessed, man, but it's a wild journey, and I'm still not done. I'm still going.
Right. So one day, I don't know if you remember, we ran into a bar a few years ago, not too long ago, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And I think I just kind of said, just doing the dad thing, just simple life. And you said something that stuck with me about, I'm paraphrasing, but it was more like, yeah, man, I would want to have a taste of that almost. I don't know if people can understand that what comes with fame, what comes with this kind of dedication to a sport, the sacrifice that you make. Can you talk a little bit about that? About what do you sacrifice by being so dedicated and being successful at what you do?
I'm out here, San Diego, living a beautiful life, and I'm with my kids 24/7. I wish I was back home in Des Moines, Iowa, and could just drop them off at grandma and grandpa's house. Have them around aunts and uncles and cousins playing softball. My kids are really good at softball. They dedicate their lives. They're really good in school. They sacrifice a lot. They see me work hard. I instill these values, but to not share that with my immediate family, that's a huge sacrifice. Taking my kids up north, COVID, I got to travel 2 hours to West Covina, then go to Yuma. That's 3 hours, making that all happen in a day, waking up on a Saturday and then getting up at 4 a.m. and I'll knock out an hour and a half run before the day even gets started. So a lot of sacrifice, man. And a lot of people just really don't know. It's super simple, but it ain't easy, and I like to go there because I learned a lot about myself. I've really challenged myself as a human being to really push and go above and beyond, shed my skin and go into something new. That first step is just bravery. It's the unknown, and really stepping into that. And it requires a lot of sacrifice. So that's a great question. And a lot of people really just, they tell themselves a story of why they can't do it or this and that. It's easily done. It's just not everybody will go there.
Yeah. So tell me let's talk a little bit about like where you're at as far as the UFC. So you rank number 8, and educate me a little bit. what's your next fight, or where? I mean, you're a visionary. I must assume, because you don't get to where you are just by there's got to be visions in front of you. You're like, you see yourself. Where do you see yourself? What's next? What's your next fight, or do you have a scheduled fight?
Yeah. Hey, dude, thank you, man. You're asking all the great questions, so thank you. Uh, as of right now, man, I did a lot of healing. I took this last fight. Was a rough one for me. I ended up getting clipped, splitting my head open. I rolled my ankle pretty bad. And I had to take a step back, dude. I had my mom had a situation where she was in an abusive relationship with this guy. There's a lot of addiction going on. They hit me up a week before that, and then after the fight, a week later, I found out my mom's in the hospital, and I kind of like thank God for COVID, because this guy couldn't get to her. He couldn't sign her out. My mom had like since Kenji was at my wedding, my mom didn't show up because she got back on drugs. We were developing this relationship, so that kind of fell short. And beautiful hummingbird over here, that's tight. So that fell short, and to where she's at now. After the fight, I was able to get in contact, keep her there. She's in a rehab center. And as of late on the Christmas, I went back to visit her, just see her. I ain't seen her in 3 years, and a lot of change. I had to kind of really like walk my mom to see her in this situation, to her kind of remembering old things, to not really remembering my kids. She hasn't really been there. So I took a huge step back to focus on this part of my life. And that's actually why I got sober, so I can go back and just kind of deal with things real raw style. I had to feel it. And I didn't want to go back there, complicate things and involve drinking and just kind of the patterns in my life. So I went back, I dealt with this. It feels like I closed out like a lot of tabs in my life, and I feel like in a really good situation. I've been training. I decided to go up to 155 pounds, where I fought there early on in my career, and I feel like I was just hurting myself and training so fucking hard to go 145 pounds. It was eating up my body, literally. I would have like these dry heaves. You ever been like throwing up and you're drunk, but you can't really throw up anything?
Yeah.
You're just so dehydrated.
Uh-huh.
I would have those, man. I'm just tired of it, realizing where I'm at, kind of growing up, focusing more on skill and moving up in a weight class. And I'm waiting to hear some news here within this week or next week. I should have some news, but I'm looking to fight in May, which was might be my 14-year kind of anniversary.
Okay.
And I'm looking to rock and roll, man. I'm in a great place now. Like, I'm actually ready to fight. I've been calling them up, and we're ready to rock and roll. And we've been putting in a lot of work.
You did your debut in May, right? Your birthday.
Yeah, 26. Yeah.
So you think it's almost certain that you'll fight on this May?
I'm blessed, brother. I'm almost positive.
Okay.
I'm absolutely sure, and I'm training like it, so it's coming. I'm training, so anybody slips out, short notices, I'm right there. So I'm in great shape and in a fantastic place, and I'm looking to rock and roll and stay busy this year. I'm gonna have a great year.
Awesome. So I mean, when you win, it's got to be electrifying, right? When you lose, the highs are high and the lows are low. So which one has been, which fight or which part of your career has been the highest, and which one has been the one where you're like, this is my lowest?
I would say my next one's going to be one of my highest. It's going to be the present one. I always
Okay.
I'm just that type of thinker. I stay positive, man, and not only that, I feel like I knock people out in different ways, not to sound cocky or anything, but I've knocked them out right hand. I've knocked them out left hook, flying knees, head kicks, elbows on the ground and pound, like literally knocked them completely the fuck out. So
yeah.
I always look forward to my next one. The new one improve me. And the best thing about losing, it's a hard fucking teacher. It's the master teacher, but if you're really a beast, I believe in the Charles Darwin theory. It's not the strongest or the smartest. It's the person willing to adapt to change. If you can be butt naked and be like, you know what, I fucking lost. Deal with it, lick your wounds, have a day, have 2 days with it, and then be done with it and go back to like, what can I do to get better? How can I show up differently? And that's how I like to show up, come back, when things are down. And really go show what you're really all about. That's what I'm looking forward to most in my next fight, is just showing that learning curve, man, and going there like in a real experienced, patient veteran and knocking somebody the fuck out and doing what I do.
What what about your fighting game has changed? So we talked about you as a person, but what about your style? Because you were considered a brawler right at the beginning. What's been the part of your game that you think you've evolved the most, and where would you describe yourself now as a fighter?
I would say I evolved probably mostly mentally, the most mentally. Uh, I stay moving, man. I try to round my game a lot. A lot of people see a lot of stand up there, but I have a lot of good wrestling. I have a lot of good slams in the UFC. I definitely need to get back and utilize that more because I got really great ground and pound mixed in with everything. But I constantly stay evolving on everything, man. Striking, wrestling, grappling. I submerge myself in these things deeply. And I pick myself apart every time. You know, I'm always asking my coaches for feedback, you know, showing up on days too, where, you know, it's Thursday, I've been training, I woke up at 4 a.m., I'm absolutely dog freaking tired. And then Friday, you know, maybe I don't want to spar and I'm feeling like freaking dog shit. And I'm just like, man, I don't want to go. Going on them days and being like, damn, okay, what, give me some feedback. What can I work on? There, you're a lot more vulnerable. Because if I go in and I'm fresh and I'm feeling good, like, and I'm like, hey, what do I need to work on? They're like, I don't know. You look great. So I kind of like going in them days where you don't really want to go and kind of exposing yourself. So then you can really kind of like mentally, I'm sculpting out a beautiful picture. I'm like, yo, I need to work my grappling. Maybe I need to get some cardio. You know what? Maybe I need to stretch out this entire week before practice, after practice, do some hot yoga. Maybe I need some rehab. Whatever it is, you just keep sculpting here, sculpting there. And then when you fight, you go in there, and that's my masterpiece, is going in there, showing my new and improved skills and what I've learned, and going in there where, you know, I love going in there and shocking the world and having Rogan be like, damn, Steven's the best I've seen him look tonight, you know. And I'm getting older, and these are the conversations that they're still having, and it's great to hear that and have that type of response. I appreciate it, because it's hard to go in there and do that shit in real life and go in there and fight in front of people, be exposed, you know, is what it is. But it's cool to show up and be like, man, he looks great, man. He's 35 years old, looks in great shape, came back, and he looked best I've seen him. Head movement was awesome. This and that, you know, those are the things that I like to put myself in.
Are you getting tired of this next question? I mean, it's 14 years. You're gonna be 35 in May. How many more years do you see yourself doing this in the UFC?
Man, that's a great question. As of right now, I just stay in the present moment. I feel great. I'm truly blessed. I'm happy. I still love to do this, man. I would say I'd say my best 4 years are like right ahead of me. 3-4 years in this sport to really top it off at a high level, top notch, and then be able to retire.
Do you see yourself holding? Do you see yourself holding a belt? Do you see yourself being a champ?
Yeah, definitely. I want exciting fights going forward. You know, the belt, it's kind of been like up and down. It kind of is what it is. I want these big fights. You know, I feel like, you know, I can put myself in a really good situation and fight some of these big names and go and expose them and go in there and do really good and really bring my pay up, bring my value up, bring my stock up, so that I can go off and retire into the sunset. You know, it's cool to look up to guys like DC, you know, a little older in the game, you know, topping off, top paid, top fights. You know, that's what I want. You know, like I want the baddest motherfucking motherfucker title, whatever it is, you know.
Yeah,
I'll take that title. I want big fights. I want Justin Gaethje's, you know, I want these big name dudes. I want the Connors, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been saying this since day one.
Yeah.
And you know, you fight the tough competition, or you stay around for a long time, things fucking happen. But
ultimately, that's what it's all about, right? I think you're the epitome of what the UFC is. It's electrifying, knockout, put somebody out, you know. So yes, you're right. Like I think Nate Diaz is a good example, right? He found his way into a good, you know, fight, and then, you know, he starts to make those big payday kind of fights.
Yep.
So there's reward in that. I mean, I would watch Nate Diaz any day, you know, watch you any day. I think Kamaru is the champion some weight, but I mean, to the outs, because I'm not like an avid UFC. I'm not like super into the everyday kind of fights, but I'm kind of the outside. So the outside fan, would find Kamaru a little, or I would find him a little like, okay, but electrifying fights that something bad's gonna happen. Like so I see what you're saying. There's an excitingness and an electrifying thing about your fights. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
that's what I want, man. I'm not worried about titles. I can only focus on what I have today. I'm on a losing streak right now. So like I said, man, I'm just focused on that positive energy, bouncing back, really just showing the people, man, giving the 515 to something to talk about, man. We're the heart of the United States, bro. Des Moines, Iowa. We are the heart of the United States. And I want to bring UFC there, dude. I know we've had a bad experience with Dana and Iowa, but I know I'm the guy who can get the job done, bro, and really bring it there and bring the fans. And just like I said, man, I want to be respected and have these exciting fights, these challenges, these big money fights, dude. And a cool thing, man, is I went and helped Jorge Masvidal out for Gilbert Melendez when he fought him. He fought him out here in San Diego. It's pretty cool. And then he came and helped me out when I ended up fought him in Canada. He came out here to San Diego like a week or so to train with me. And then to rolling with him to where he's at now, he's always cool. And he's like, hey, what's up, Stevens? Likes to kick it. And he's got a lot of cool things going. I'm like, hey, dude, like, what is it? I asked him, I was like, what is it for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, it can get hard out here, losing kind of like these like little split decisions, I feel like should be going my way. He's kind of had the same type of career. And he's like, man, just patience, bro. He's like, you're going to have your time. These right fights are going to line up. And he's like, bam. And he's like, before you know it, you're just in it. So that kind of gave me some like, remotivation and like cool to hear it from an experienced dude such as Masvidal and shit like that.
Yeah. So talking about Des Moines a little bit before we get out of your hair. So there's a new kid, Luis Saldana, that got signed into the UFC.
It got now.
Yeah. So I mean, you've been in it. Have you talked to him? Do you talk to him? What advice would you give him?
Yeah, Luis is actually just came out here like a month ago, and then like even before that, he was out here like a month before that. So he's been coming out here and training before he was training with me right before he got on that the Contender Series. He had like a couple weeks. He stopped out here like maybe like a month before his fight. Trained with me all week. Went back to Arizona because he's right here, so he's driving distance. So I get to see Luis every now and then, man. And he's been around. He's been in my household, dude. He's been a roommate. So I know him very well, man. I know his mom, dude. She's cooked cakes for my parties when I go back home.
Awesome.
It's tight to see him do his thing. He was like the little bro coming in, getting beat on, to see him going in there on the Contenders and getting highlight fights. He's an exciting character. So
how does it feel? How does it feel to like represent a city, represent a state? You're one of the first ones out of Iowa, right? Is there another? Is it Josh Neer? I think it was.
Josh
came
Neer
out of Des Moines.
Yep, Des Moines. He's from Southeast Warren originally. Des Moines, tough as nails, man. He really opened up the door for me, honestly. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. He chose to go up to Davenport, Iowa, train with the Militich camp. And I was like 18 years old going up there, 17, 18 years old. I was already training with Neer. He was tough, dude. Tough as fucking nails. And I'd go up there, bro. I felt like I was getting my head smashed in. I'd go in the corner with the towel over my head, like crying. Yeah. Just head down, like, dude, what am I doing? I feel like I'm getting my head beat up. And these guys wouldn't say shit to you, dude. Old school. Just and be like, I'd show up the next day, and keep showing up. But all right, see you tomorrow. But I was like, fuck, these guys are good. I'm kind of getting smashed here. But I followed him, man. He opened up the doors for me, gave me a way in. I wouldn't be here in San Diego for old Neer. So give that back to Luis a little bit.
Yeah.
Give him the ball.
Yeah. So what's after the UFC? Have you thought about that yet? What's after the UFC for Jeremy?
Man, real estate, public speaking, donating, raising charity, coaching, being a softball dad, and just being a great husband, dude, and just experiencing traveling life, healing up, and travel, bro. Just give back to the world. And just really take care of my family, bro. Fighting's really, it's really paying off for me. It's put me in really good opportunities and into a great place. And it'll be cool to be back and sit back at like 40 years old, retired, happy, in a great place. And I can just go give back to the world and still make money in the process, man.
Yeah, you have a great story. So, I'm sure that after the UFC, you'll have a lot to offer to the world, and so I'm looking forward to continuing to see your career, uh, and wishing you that you have a great fights coming up. And is there any shout outs that you want to give? I mean, this is gonna a small local podcast, but is there any Des Moines peeps that you want to give a shout out? I'm sure they'll love to to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to shout out to my father-in-law, Manuel Lopez. He just lost his brother down in Mexico, and he wasn't able to go visit him. He because he had COVID, so I know he can't see his brother right now. So, rest in peace. Stay fighting, stay living. To everybody going through a struggle, stay strong, keep positive. Blessings are coming, and thank you guys, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the great questions. Appreciate you guys, man. I really feel like we're family. So anytime you guys need anything, man, I'd love to call, hit you back after a great win, come visit you guys back in Des Moines, because I will be back visit my mom and stuff. So any chance I can help you guys out, anything you guys need, hit me up, man. I'm your dude.
Man, I appreciate that. We'll finish with that. And again, I want to thank you, and thank you to your wife for helping us connect and making sure that this happens. So I appreciate it, and we look forward for the news for your next fight.
Orale. Gracias, man.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Hey, Kenji. Gracias. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, man.
You guys
Have a good one.
weekend, bro.
You
Peace.
too, man. All right, everybody. There you are, your own Des Moines, Iowa, Jeremy Stevens. Thank you again to his wife for being patient and kind and helping us get this make happen. And obviously, thank you to Jeremy. We wish him the best. He's a great guy. You can tell he's a real dude.
Yeah, he's a real dude, and you did say electrifying a few times.
I did.
More than a few times, I would say. You're one electrifying bitch.
I was nervous, man, and
Electrified? Were you electrified?
I was electrified, yeah. So, but thank you to anybody that tunes in, that listens to us. We appreciate it. We really do, because, it's fun. We're going to keep doing these fun projects. We are Amplified. We're the two producers. There's a lot of people behind this project, but Kenji's the man behind all this technical stuff. So if you have a project that you want to work on, let us know. We're for hire.
Yeah, he is. He's the whore in this dynamic.
No, I meant
I am a wholesome boy, and you are a whore.
We can do
dirty,
jobs. That's what I mean.
Whore.
That's what I mean.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So go to amplifydsm.com or email us at info@amplifydsm.com. Stay tuned. There's a lot of exciting things happening. We're just going to keep on doing fun stuff, different projects. So, yeah, check it out. Don't miss out.
Also, give us a like and subscribe to our channel so you can see the following podcast. And if you want to listen to the podcast that we recorded before this, then follow our SoundCloud account. And we'll put some links in the description.
Apple Podcast, Spotify,
anywhere.
But thank you everybody again, and we'll talk to you soon. And this was the Amner Martinez podcast.